Ava Thompson came home early in the morning after a long and tiring hospital shift. Her eyes were heavy with exhaustion, but all she could think about was a warm shower and sleep. As she stepped into the driveway, something felt wrong. The spot where her silver Toyota Corolla was always parked was empty. She blinked, thinking maybe she had parked it somewhere else. But no, she always parked it in the same place. The car she had worked extra shifts for, the one she saved up for years to buy, was gone. On the porch, her parents, Marianne and Robert, were sitting calmly, drinking tea like it was just another peaceful morning. Ava's heart pounded as she walked up to them. "Where's my car?" she asked, trying to sound calm even though her chest was tightening. Her mother didn't even look surprised. With a casual sip of tea, she said, "Oh, we sold it, honey. You barely use it, and your brother needed money for college." For a moment, Ava couldn't speak. Her mind froze, her heart dropped. Sold it? The car she had bought herself? Her only real piece of independence. Gone just like that. "You've sold my car?" she said softly, her voice shaking. Her father looked up from his newspaper and said firmly, "Family comes first, Ava. You should understand that by now." Ava felt tears burning in her eyes. She looked at both of them, the people she had worked so hard to please, the ones she kept sacrificing for, and they didn't even seem sorry. Her hands trembled, but she didn't shout. She didn't cry. She just stared for a moment, feeling something deep inside her begin to break, and at the same time, something new beginning to rise. "Finally," she whispered, her voice cold and tired. "Then maybe family shouldn't come first anymore." Her mother's smile faded. Her father frowned. But Ava didn't wait for their response. She turned around and walked inside, her heart pounding, her mind spinning. In that moment, standing in her empty driveway, Ava realized something she'd been too afraid to admit. Her family would take everything from her if she let them. And for the first time in her life, she started thinking, maybe it was time to stop letting them. Ava grew up as the responsible daughter, the one who took care of everyone else, solved problems, and kept the peace in the house. Whenever her parents fought, she was the one who tried to calm them down. When her brother got into trouble, she was the one who covered for him. Everyone relied on Ava, but no one ever asked how she felt. Her younger brother, Liam, was always the favorite. He was charming, funny, and never took life too seriously. When he made mistakes, their parents laughed them off. But when Ava made even a small mistake, they scolded her for not being grateful enough. While studying nursing, Ava also worked part-time to help her parents pay their mortgage. She gave them money every month and never complained. She believed that being a good daughter meant helping her family, no matter how tired she was. But as she grew older, she started to notice the pattern. Every decision she made was questioned or criticized. When she talked about moving into her own apartment, her mother said, "After all we've done for you, this is how you thank us?" Her father would sigh and say, "Family should stay together, Ava. You owe us that much." The guilt always worked. Ava stayed, even when she didn't want to. The car she had bought, that silver Toyota Corolla, was her small piece of freedom. It was her promise to herself that one day she could leave the house on her own terms. Every time she sat in it, she felt like she was getting closer to a life that belonged to her. But after her parents sold the car without asking her, everything changed. It wasn't just about the car. It was about the control they had over her. They didn't see her as an adult with her own life. They saw her as someone who existed to fix their problems. At night, Ava would lie awake staring at the ceiling, wondering when things had turned into this. She loved her parents deeply, but she was so tired. Tired of being used. Tired of always giving and never being seen. Sometimes she thought about leaving anyway, finding a small apartment near the hospital, starting over. But every time she tried to plan it, something stopped her. Her mother would say she was selfish. Her father would remind her how much they sacrificed for her. The truth was, Ava had been planning to move out soon. She had even started saving for the deposit. But now, after the car incident, she didn't even know where to start. Without the car, getting to work would be harder. Without emotional support, it would be lonelier. She felt trapped, stuck between love and exhaustion, between duty and self-respect. Every time she walked into the living room, she could feel the tension. Her parents acted like nothing was wrong. Liam laughed, joked, and asked her to lend him money as if selling her car had never happened. Ava began to see things clearly for the first time. Her family didn't treat her like a daughter. They treated her like a resource, someone who existed to help, to give, to sacrifice. And as that realization grew stronger, so did something else inside her. A quiet, burning thought that she had never allowed herself to believe before. Maybe it was time to stop saving everyone else. Maybe it was time to start saving herself. A few days later, Ava was in the kitchen cleaning up after dinner when she heard her father's voice from the living room. He was on the phone, speaking in a low but angry tone. At first she tried to ignore it, but his words caught her attention. "I told you I'd send the payment this week," he said sharply. "Just give me a few more days. I'll find the money." Ava froze. Payment? Her father didn't owe anyone money. At least, that's what he had always claimed. She quietly stepped closer to the doorway. The man on the phone said something she couldn't hear, but her father's reply made her heart race. "I said I'll pay. I just had to sell something important, that's all. The money's gone already. What more do you want from me?" The line went silent after he hung up. Ava stood there, her hands trembling. Suddenly, everything made sense. The car wasn't sold for Liam's college fees. It was sold to cover her father's gambling debts. She felt sick. Her parents hadn't just betrayed her. They had lied straight to her face. Later that night, she confronted them in the living room. Her father was watching TV, and her mother was scrolling through her phone. "Dad," Ava said, her voice shaking. "I heard you on the phone. The money from my car, it didn't go to Liam's tuition, did it?" Her father's expression hardened. He said nothing. Her mother sighed. "Ava, your father has been under a lot of stress lately. Don't make this about you." Ava's heart broke a little at those words. "Don't make this about me? You sold my car. You lied to me. How could you do that?" Her father slammed his hand on the table. "Watch your tone. You wouldn't even have that car if not for us. Everything you have is because of this family." Something inside Ava snapped. Years of silence, obedience, and guilt all came rushing out. "No," she shouted, tears in her eyes. "Everything I have is because I worked for it. You didn't help me buy that car, I did. You stole from me and lied to my face." Her mother stood up, her voice sharp. "Ava, enough. You're being ungrateful. Families help each other." Ava laughed bitterly through her tears. "Then why does helping always mean I have to lose something?" No one answered. Her father turned away, angry but silent. Her mother crossed her arms, pretending to be the victim. Ava couldn't take it anymore. She grabbed her bag and walked out, her hands shaking, her chest tight with pain and anger. That night, she sat alone in her grandmother's old study. Her grandmother had passed away years ago, and Ava often went there to think. The smell of old books and the quiet calmness of the room helped her breathe. She opened one of the old file cabinets, looking for something, maybe comfort, maybe answers. As she pulled out a stack of old papers, something caught her eye. It was a house deed. Her eyes scanned the document, and her breath stopped when she saw the names written on it. Marian Thompson, Robert Thompson, Ava Thompson. Her name was on it. Her grandmother had left half of the house to her, years ago. Ava sat frozen, the paper shaking in her hands. Her parents never told her. They had kept it a secret all this time. Now she finally understood why they always wanted to keep her close, why they guilt-tripped her whenever she talked about leaving. She didn't just live in their house. She owned part of it. And for the first time, Ava didn't feel powerless anymore. She felt a quiet, steady strength rising inside her. The kind that comes when truth finally replaces lies. Ava's world tilts. She stares at the paper in her hands, reading her name again and again. Ava Thompson. She legally owns half of the house, the same house her parents used to control her, to keep her under their roof, under their rules. Her heart races. For years, she believed she was living in their home. But it turns out, part of it was hers all along. A strange mix of emotions floods her. Anger, betrayal, confusion, and something new she hasn't felt in a long time. Power. She sits on the floor, the deed spread out in front of her. Her grandmother had loved her deeply, always telling her, "You deserve to have your own say in life." Now Ava understands. Her grandmother had quietly made sure she would. But her parents had hidden the truth. They used her kindness, her guilt, her loyalty, all while keeping her in the dark. The next morning, Ava goes to work at the hospital. She tries to focus, but her hands shake as she checks patient charts. Her best friend, Jenna, notices. You look like you didn't sleep, Jenna says softly during their break. Ava gives a tired laugh. I found out something about my parents. Something big. Jenna leans in. Want to talk about it? So Ava tells her everything. About the car, the lies, the gambling, and now the deed. By the time she's done, Jenna's eyes are wide. Oh my God, Ava. You own half that house? Then why are you still living there? Ava shrugs weakly. I don't know. Maybe because I don't have anywhere else to go right now. Or maybe I'm scared. Jenna takes her hand gently. You can't heal in the place that breaks you. You have to get out before they take more from you. Those words stay in Ava's head all day. That evening, when she returns home, the silence feels heavier than usual. Her parents barely look at her. Her mother moves around the kitchen pretending not to see her. Her father sits watching TV, not saying a word. No shouting. No talking. Just cold silence. It's their favorite form of punishment, the quiet kind that eats at her. Liam strolls in later, smirking. So, are you still angry about the car, sis? Or are you finally over it? Ava doesn't reply. He laughs. You're not gonna do anything. You never do. She looks up slowly and meets his eyes. Watch me. That wipes the grin off his face. He walks away, muttering under his breath. But Ava feels something shift inside her. The old fear is still there, but it's mixed with something stronger, determination. Late that night, she sits on her bed, staring at the house deed again. Her mind replays every cruel word, every guilt trip, every time they made her feel small for wanting her own life. She whispers to herself, her voice quiet but steady. If they can take what's mine without asking, so can I. The next day, Ava starts researching. During lunch breaks and late at night, she reads about property rights and co-ownership laws. She makes notes, takes screenshots, and slowly gathers courage. Then she reaches out to a real estate lawyer, a kind woman named Miss Harris, and meets her secretly after work. When Ava explains the situation, the lawyer looks surprised. If your name is on the deed, you have full legal rights to sell your share, or even request a full sale of the property. They can't stop you. Ava sits quietly, processing the words. They can't stop me. For so long, she thought she had no control. But now the law is on her side. Over the next few weeks, Ava collects every document she can find. Bank records, tax receipts, old letters from her grandmother. She hides them in her work locker, away from her parents' reach. At home, the atmosphere grows colder. Her parents barely speak to her. When they do, it's only to remind her how ungrateful she's become. Her mother says one night, "You've changed, Ava. You used to be so kind, so respectful." Ava answers softly, "I'm still kind. I'm just not blind anymore." Her father scoffs. "You think you can live without us? You'll come crawling back." Ava doesn't reply. She's done arguing. She's done explaining herself to people who never listen. One night, while everyone's asleep, she sits at her desk and fills out a form online. The first step in listing the house for sale. Her fingers tremble as she types, but she doesn't stop. When the confirmation email arrives, her heart pounds. She's really doing it. She closes her laptop and looks around her room. The same room she's lived in since she was a child. The walls are still the same pale blue her grandmother painted years ago. But tonight, they don't feel like a cage anymore. They feel like the walls she's finally ready to walk away from. Ava takes a deep breath, whispers a quiet thank you to her grandmother, and turns off the light. Tomorrow, everything will begin to change. A few weeks later, Ava's parents wake up to a loud noise outside. Marianne pulls the curtain open and freezes. On their front lawn, a large white sign stands tall. House for sale. Her teacup slips from her hand and crashes to the floor. "What have you done?" she screams, rushing outside in her robe. Ava is standing by the mailbox, her face calm but her eyes red from crying. She doesn't flinch when her mother shouts. "I did what you taught me," Ava says quietly. "Family comes first, and I'm family too." Robert storms out of the house, his face red with anger. "You can't do this, Ava. This is our home." Ava looks straight at him. "It's our home. Half of it belongs to me, and I've already contacted a buyer. They're interested in buying the entire property." For a few seconds, there's silence. Then chaos. Liam rushes out shouting, You're insane. You can't sell the house. Where are we supposed to live? Marian grabs Ava's arm, tears in her eyes. Ava, please. Don't do this. We're family. We've made mistakes, but we can fix this together. Ava gently pulls her arm free. You didn't want to fix anything until it was too late. You sold my car. You lied to me. You used me. I'm done. Her father steps closer, his voice low and threatening. You think you're strong now because of a few papers? You wouldn't even have a roof over your head if not for us. Ava doesn't back down this time. No, Vath. I wouldn't have a roof if not for Grandma. She's the one who gave me a home, not you. Robert's hand tightens into a fist, but Ava doesn't move. Her voice is steady, even as tears roll down her cheeks. You raised me to sacrifice everything for everyone else, she says. You never thought I'd stop, but I finally have. Liam yells. You're selfish. Ava looks at him sadly. No, I'm free. Her mother starts sobbing. Ava, please think about us. We're your family. Ava wipes her tears and whispers. I did think about you. My whole life. But now I have to think about me. The air feels heavy. Robert tries to argue. Marian begs. Liam paces angrily. But Ava doesn't say another word. She's already made her choice. She walks into the house one last time. The walls that once felt like home now feel like memories she's ready to leave behind. She picks up her bag, takes her car keys off the hook, the keys to the home she co-owned, and places them gently on the kitchen table. I'm done living in a house built on guilt, she says softly. Her father calls after her, but she doesn't turn around. Outside, her friend Jenna waits in a borrowed car. Ava gets in, takes one last look at the house and exhales. For the first time, she doesn't feel trapped. She feels light, scared, but free. Her parents stand on the porch shouting, but their words fade as the car drives away. A few weeks later, the sale goes through. The money from Ava's share is deposited directly into her new bank account. She doesn't tell her parents how much it is. She doesn't even reply to their messages anymore. Instead, she donates part of the money anonymously to a nursing scholarship. In her grandmother's name, Margaret Thompson, the woman who quietly gave her strength and freedom long before Ava realized it. When she clicks Submit Donation, a single tear falls down her cheek, not from sadness, but from relief. She whispers softly to herself, "Thank you, Grandma. You saved me." And for the first time in years, Ava smiles. Not the polite smile her parents demanded, but a real one. The kind that comes when you finally choose yourself. Months later, Ava lives in a small, quiet apartment by the beach. The sound of the waves greets her every morning, and the salty air feels like freedom. The days are calm now. No shouting, no guilt, no heavy silence. Just peace. She still works as a nurse at the hospital, but she's changed in small, gentle ways. On weekends, she volunteers at a community center that helps women escape toxic homes. She listens to their stories, offers advice, and sometimes just holds their hands when words aren't enough. Helping them helps her heal too. Her apartment is simple but warm. Soft white curtains, a few plants, and a picture of her grandmother on the shelf. Every time she looks at it, she feels strength. The pain hasn't fully disappeared, but it no longer controls her. It's part of her story, a story she survived. One sunny afternoon, Jenna visits with 2 cups of iced coffee. They sit on the balcony, watching the ocean sparkle under the light. Jenna laughs and says, "You're glowing, Ava. Peace looks good on you." Ava smiles. It took a while to find it. They talk about work, about the new patients at the hospital, and about how life feels when you finally let go of the people who keep hurting you. Jenna hugs her before leaving and says softly, "I'm proud of you." When Ava goes back inside, she finds an envelope sitting by her door. The handwriting looks familiar. It's from Liam. She hesitates for a moment before opening it. The letter is short. "Mom still blames you for everything. Dad's been drinking a lot. We had to move into a small rented house after the sale. Things aren't the same. But I think you were the only one who ever told the truth." Ava reads it twice, her hands trembling slightly. Then she folds the letter neatly and places it in her drawer beside her grandmother's photo. She stares out at the ocean for a long moment. The waves rise and fall, calm and endless, like the rhythm of healing. Finally, she whispers, "Then I finally did something right." And with that, she lets out a deep breath, feeling lighter than she has in years. The pain, the guilt, the fear, all of it begins to fade, replaced by something steady and strong. Ava smiles again, this time with peace in her heart. Her new life may be small, but it's hers, and for the first time, that's more than enough. Ava stands on her balcony, watching the sunrise spread gold and pink across the ocean. The sound of the waves is calm, like a soft song that starts her mornings. She wraps her hands around a warm cup of tea, breathing in the salty air. Her phone buzzes on the table. It's a message from Liam. I sold Dad's car today. Guess it runs in the family. Ava smiles, a small bittersweet smile. A quiet laugh escapes her lips, mixed with a tear that slips down her cheek. For the first time, that tear isn't from pain. It's from peace. She looks out at the horizon, where the sun rises higher, bright and full of promise. Voiceover style close. Sometimes you have to lose everything you love before you can find peace. Sometimes the only way to be free is to stop asking for permission. Ava closes her eyes and takes a deep breath, letting the wind brush against her face. The world feels new again, not perfect, but peaceful. The camera lingers on her, serene, strong, and unbroken, as the morning light touches her face. The ocean glows behind her, endless and calm. Ava Thompson, the girl who once gave everything away, finally stands in a world that belongs to her. Ibas. Two Hearts, thank you so much for watching till the end. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful life stories. See you in the next one. Bye. Waving Hand Sparkles.